Hello, I am Blaze, and welcome back to Warframe. Today I'd like to quickly go over our new Prime weapons. Normally I wouldn't really make videos on Prime gear, but the Cernos Prime and Venka Prime have actually got some unique stuff going on, so I feel like they're worth making a video for. As with most Prime gear, you can farm for the various Prime parts through the Void Relic system. Which relics they're available from can expand in the future, so you're best off checking the wiki for the relics the parts are in, and where to farm for those relics. You can also trade with other players for these parts if you're so inclined, or you can pick them up from one of the Valkyr Prime Access packs while Valkyr Prime Access is available. This is an expensive option, but it comes with some bonus platinum, and they'll have their own weapon slots and catalysts, just like if you got them from the market. We'll start off with the Cernos Prime, featuring a mastery rank requirement of 8. Its critical and status numbers remain the same as the base Cernos. Its standout changes are a significant increase in base damage on paper, beating out even the Daikyu's base damage, as well as both having a long reload time of 1 second and the same 1 second draw time of most other bows. The Cernos Prime also has 2 V polarities by default, which is nice. Unfortunately, not much else about the Cernos Prime is all that nice as far as I am concerned. That 1 second reload time on bows is the time you need to wait between shots, and 1 second is painfully long. The longest in the whole weapon class. I personally found Fast Hands mod to be mandatory on this thing to make it usable. Combined with a fire rate mod, the usual critical hit mods, serration and split chamber, means that you don't have much room for elemental mods as on other bows. Its other major problem is also due to what makes it unique. The Cernos Prime actually fires 3 arrows in a horizontal line by default, in the style of Ivara's Artemis bow, and that goes up to 5 or 6 arrows with split chamber. This is really cool, but it means that the base damage is actually split between each of those projectiles. So if only one of them hits an enemy, then that equates to a base damage of 120 per charged shot, the same as the Mark I Paris. Even worse, since it can fire 6 arrows evenly spaced out in a line, it is actually possible for none of your arrows to actually go towards your point of aim, due to 3 being to the left and the other 3 being to the right. Due to multi-shot mechanics with status chance, this also means its 10% base status chance is extremely weak, and it will suffer hard against high-level enemies as a result. So the Cernos Prime really needs to either be used at close ranges as if it were a shotgun, which bows are not suited for, especially this one given its slow refire rate, or on clusters of enemies at longer ranges, which it does work a lot better with. However, in either case, the Cernos Prime is probably one of the overall weakest bows right now. It has the interesting multi-shot thing going on for it, but against high-level targets it actually loses to the Daikyu and the Mutalist Cernos of all things, and I hate those things. As you can expect, versus the Dread it's a no contest, thanks to the powerful slash damage over time effect, and it doesn't seem to compare that favourably to the Rakta Cernos or the Paris Prime either. It's all a bit embarrassing for the Cernos Prime, really. The Cernos Prime is probably fine in most missions, and cosmetically it looks really cool, but I wouldn't personally take it to trials or the final level 80 to 100 sortie missions if you actually want to be doing something useful. I personally still like the Rakta Cernos best of all the bows, thanks to its high flight speed, insane draw time, and its Blight Syndicate effect. But you could probably do better with any of them than with the Cernos Prime. Though I have found, unlike other bows, heavy caliber actually doesn't completely screw up its accuracy. So if you don't mind going without fast hands, which I personally would recommend strongly against, but it's up to you, you could actually squeeze out some extra base damage this way. This Prime Access did also bring the Venka Prime, however, which is also way, way better. So let's wash away the bitter taste of disappointment with something awesome now. The Venka Prime is essentially just a better version of the Venka claws we already had across the board, though it also requires a mastery rank of 8 like the Cernos Prime, featuring 55 base damage primarily in the form of 41.25 slash damage, along with 11 puncture and 2.75 impact damage. It also features high critical stats with a 25% critical hit chance and a 2.5 times critical damage multiplier, and a reasonable enough 15% status chance. It also has a V and a dash polarity in its mod slots by default, and its stance polarity is also a V, matching all 3 of the claw stances we have in the game. In that way, claws can be rather comparable with the Nikanas. The weapon class has only 3 examples in game, being the 2 Venka variants and the Grineer Ripkas, while also featuring the same number of available stances, and all of the stances are quite nice. I personally prefer Vermilion Storm with its stylish spinning around and quicker multi-hit attacks. It is also now reasonably available, thankfully. In the past, getting this thing was basically impossible as it had to drop from a Manic Bombard, and good luck with that one. Now though, it can drop from Kuva Guardians, and failing that, Borrow occasionally has it in stock. You can also choose between Malicious Raptor, the first claw stance which can drop from a simple Power Fist enemy that also features multi-hits, though I feel it is a little bit more awkward, or 4 Riders which features a lot of damage multipliers instead. But good luck with getting 4 Riders because it's a rare drop from Manics, which are an even rarer enemy. Because fuck you, that's why. The only reason I have 4 Riders now is because Boom Sledge is insane and gave it to me as a gift. 0 drops since March 19, 2015 when it was introduced. Yup. But again, thanks Boom Sledge. Anyway, we have plenty of crit-focused melee weapons in the game, so what makes the Venka Prime special, you may ask? Aside from being fucking cool. The Venka Prime comes along with the distinction of its combo multiplier increasing in increments of 0.75 times instead of 0.5. This is actually a really big deal, as that multiplier both increases the damage dealt as you lay into more enemies, and also causes the mods that scale with your combo multiplier, particularly Blood Rush, to have a much greater effect in a much shorter space of time. The Venka Prime reaches a 2.5 times combo bonus in 18 hits, while other weapons would need 45 hits. And at 45 hits, the Venka Prime is now at 3.25 times damage. If you throw either body count or drifting contact on here, and if you're a dedicated melee person, you can enjoy ripping and tearing through enemy hordes like a hot knife through butter. Also, did I mention how cool they look? The original Venka were okay, but they were really quite spindly and basic looking things. The Venka Prime is much more ornate and features wider blades. Realistically, this should make them much less effective, but this is video game world, where physics don't matter. And here it means that you can actually look at and appreciate the color customizations you give these things. Or just the look of having them out in general, because they really do look good. The Venka Prime are pretty wonderful. It does make me feel a bit bad for the Ripkas though. There is no reason to use them anymore if you have the Venka Prime, unless you really just want to have chainsaws. Which is fine if you want to do that, because Fashion Frame is the true endgame, but still. For modding the Venka Prime, since they're claws and have a short range anyway, and a very high perchance for critical damage, I decided to use Organ Shatter again instead of Primed Reach like I usually would. This will push its critical damage up even further, especially when you reach the realm of constant red crits with the help of Blood Rush, which won't take long in any capacity thanks to the Venka Prime's significantly boosted combo multiplier growth. So I do believe that covers all of the important aspects of our new Prime Access weapons, and a rundown of what makes them actually mechanically different to their base counterparts, for better or for worse. The Venka Prime are great in my opinion, and if you can pick them up, do so, because they're worth at least checking out. As for the Cernos Prime, maybe not so much. Thank you for listening to my opinions on the Venka and Cernos Primes. All comments are appreciated, and I hope to see you around next time. For my opinions on other similar weapons, perhaps you could consider taking a click over to my videos on the Ripkas or the Rakta Cernos. Or for something else, there's also my video on the recent Tsar cannon launcher thing that is also awesome. And as always, good luck, have fun, and take care.